Content warning. Echo can be emotionally intense experience and may not be for everyone. Echo contains themes of adult nature, including violence, torture, drug usage, and harsh language. Viewer discretion is advised. So, how do you know that he's even here? Jenna's eyes Leo as we make our way up the walkway to Carl's house. Yep, not Carl's house. I always forget how big it is when I see it again. Even as kids from Peyton to hanging out with Carl because of it. Carl's here, I'm like 90% of the time. Besides, how would he get around without his parents? Jenna doesn't say anything as TJ bounds up to the door and rings the doorbell while bouncing a cake against his chest. Everything is so old-fashioned here. TJ seems to have cheered up since the incident a few days back. At least, that's what he's been putting out so far. Sometimes it's hard to tell with TJ. We wait a while, but there's no answer. Jenna looks pointedly at Leo, who pointedly ignores her. He's probably asleep. And how do we wake him up? I won't ask where Flynn's at, but even mentioning his name around TJ seems risky. Leo's looking up at the window to the right of the door, about 10 feet off the ground. You know, if I boost you up, you'll be able to reach... Are you kidding me? I shift the bag of presents I'm holding, glancing down at the red tissue paper at the top. So, what did I get, Carl? Oh, let me get comfortable. Leo doesn't seem to notice me, continuing to frown at Jenna. How else are we gonna wake him up? Oh, I don't know. Maybe sending him a text in advance to have him meet us somewhere rather than just going to his house completely unannounced. Leo huffs and I can see his face getting red under his fur. Jenna has a fair point, but I still feel bad for the wolf. I mean, he usually is here, isn't he? Let's not fight, guys. It's supposed to be a party. TJ's genuinely disappointed voice seems to put a pause on the tense mood, and Jenna sighs before looking up at the window. I guess I could try. Great. Leo hops down off the deck, but at that moment, a big rusty truck pulls into the driveway of Carl's house. It's Flynn, and next to him in the passenger seat is an unconscious-looking ram. The hell? Flynn parks before slowly and quietly opening the door. Flynn, what the hell are you doing? Leo yells as he walks up to the truck, glancing over at Carl, who's leaned back in the seat with his mouth hanging open. Even from here, I can hear him snoring. Hey, Wolf, if you still wanted it to be a surprise, you'll shut up. What the hell are you doing? Flynn rolls his eyes. We went to the reservation. What? Why? Because it was something we do sometimes. I texted you that we were going to surprise him. Yeah, and that's why I'm here. Flynn rubs the back of his scaly head. Just a little late is all. Started winning more than I usually do, so Carl and I stuck around for a little longer. You were gambling? Of course, because that's all the reservation's good for, huh? Whoa! Flynn holds up his hand defensively. What's with all of you? Flynn's eye settles on me, and for some reason I feel my heart give a jump. Chase, what the hell crawled up everyone's ass? I feel like the answer should be obvious, but if Flynn's trying to get things at least somewhat close... My phone vibrating? Something's vibrating. Not my face this time. To normal, then I'm fully behind him. You know how Leo is his way or the highway. Leo shoots a glare at me, but I grin at him, trying to lighten the jab. I sense TJ further back behind me, separate from our group. I really wish I knew what he's thinking right now. Leo lets out a tiny growl before turning back to Flynn. I feel like you could have at least told us. Flynn sighs and glances back at the ram sleeping in the truck. Well, why didn't you guys go inside so this whole surprise isn't weird? It's locked. Flynn walks over to Carl's side before turning to us. Go in through the back. There's a key under the doormat. We get into position in front of the door. TJ's a little more enthusiastic, hiding against the wall to the left of the door, a party popper in his hand. I hear soft cloppings along the low murmur of Carl's voice. The door swings open. Dude, I just want to put it behind me and not think... Surprise! Carl stands there frozen as strings of confetti drape across his horn. For a moment, he goes completely silent and we all stare back at him. Finally, TJ giggles. Oops, I didn't mean to get it on your horns. TJ's about goes about picking the confetti off of Carl's head. His hesitant movements make it obvious how hard he's trying to avoid touching the horns. What? Carl finally breaks the awkward silence as he continues to stare at all of us, pushing TJ's hands away to pull the confetti off himself. Leo steps forward and clearly forces a smile on his face. Your birthday. Happy early birthday. Carl continues to stare. Flynn steps up to his side and puts an arm around his shoulder. Yeah, we know there isn't much to do around here, so we had to come up with something. But a birthday party for me? It's not for another month. Be happy, Carl. This is probably the last birthday party you'll get. Carl opens his mouth but snaps it shut, and his long ears twitching around. Carl, this is basically just a party. Your birthday is an excuse to have it. Oh, come on, Jenna. We got you gifts and everything. Leo nods at me, and I take that as my cue to lift up the bag in the air, grinning sheepishly. I mean, it was Leo's birthday last month. So what? You want to just re-gift everything to him? Flynn gives a hard tug on one of Carl's horns, and he swats at Flynn's hand. It's more annoyance than I'm used to seeing him have. And cake. TJ raises the cake in the air. Flynn leans against Carl, pointing at it. See? Red velvet, your favorite. I'm silently thankful that Flynn's trying this hard to not let Carl freak out. I think we're all a little taken aback at how much he's resisting. Carl's shoulders do drop a bit at the sight of the cake, though. Where are your plates? Jenna's over at the cupboards, opening a few and looking inside. This kitchen is huge. Second one over. At that point, we managed to shake off the awkward haze we're in and start moving to the table. So, we got the whole day planned for you. Yeah. Carl stands at the end of the table, one hand on a chair as he watches all of us. While I knew Carl wouldn't really be into the idea of a party, I don't think it would be this bad. I wonder if his anxiety has gotten worse since the incident at the university. We're going out to eat later, and then a movie. Thought you might want to see the new Luce Lobo film, you know? Carl's hand go up and to pull his beanie tightly over his head. Well, as long as you don't tell the waiters that it's my birthday. Oh yeah, isn't that place by the theater where they basically force you to wear one of those cone hats? Yeah, and I swear to God, if one of them gets all touchy with my horns, trying to put it on. What? You'll blow pot smoke at them? I think it's kind of fun. TJ's struggling to put a plastic dome, trying to pull the plastic dome off the cake. Leo reaches out to help him, but it pops free at that moment and takes a large glob of frosting off the side of the cake. Ah! Good one, Tej. We can give that piece to Carl so he can stay on his diet. Flynn puts the air quotes around the word diet, and an awkward silence follows, one that Flynn clearly notices, and I see him sulk in response. Carl coughs. I didn't have breakfast, so this should be fine. Leo claps his paws together. While we're having cake, why don't we start opening your presents, huh? The president's presents. Carl grabs the bag, unceremoniously dumps it onto the table. He goes through them, giving an obligatory thanks when he finds out who gave it to whom. I see my gift for the first time along with Carl. It's the horn band, in black and orange. University of Pueblo colors. We used to make fun of the jocks that wore them at Pueblo. Thanks? He looks at me trying to figure out if I'm joking or not, and I can only offer a pained smile in response. It's only now that I'm feeling guilty for not getting him a present myself. I'll get another one on his real birthday. Flynn steps forward at that point. Here's mine, something I got from the reservation. Flynn reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small and hidden in his hand. When Carl sees it, his eyes widen. Oh, wow! It looks like a rectangular piece of metal with 2 points sticking out on top. Until Carl pushes his thumb against one of the horns, it pops open that I realize that it's a lighter. Now you won't look like a total loser when you're getting blazed. Carl gives Flynn a small smile before flicking the lighter on before snapping it shut. Thanks, man. Don't worry about it. Store owner actually gave me a discount. They still remembered me from all the smokes I used to buy there. You went all the way there? Hi, Blade. Oh my god. That scared me. My goodness. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Let me drink my coffee since that broke me out a bit. Oh, iced coffee with dark chocolate in it. It's so good. Hi, hi. You went all the way to the reservation for that? Cigarettes are untaxed on the reservation. Another thing it's useful for, huh, Flynn? A chill descends over the room again after it had just warmed up. I went there for the casino. The cigarettes were just... Uh-huh. Flynn stops and frowns, looking confused and hurt. At this point, I start to feel myself wanting to stick up for him. The rest of the quote-unquote party is stiff and uncomfortable as Flynn stews in the corner. Finally, Leo stands up and tells us to get out to the car. Leo gives Flynn a look, and I can tell he's going to confront him about something. Quietly, I linger towards the door and listen as the rest of them head out. Oh, so now I can't say anything to him, huh? Flynn. The look on Leo's face is deadly. His eyes are narrowed, ears flat against his head, teeth bared. Flynn's initial indignation cools and he backs up. You promised me you wouldn't fuck this up. You said you wouldn't cause any problems. I was fucking trying to make things better. Can you read the fucking room? No one wanted you to say anything to him. What? So I'm just gonna let things stay like this for the whole week? Well, that's kind of your fault, isn't it? I'm trying to be nice to him. And did you see Jenna? She's not fucking helping. You know how TJ is. Just leave him alone. He's a fucking adult. He's not just some little kid you have to protect. That's why it's been years and that little shit hasn't manned up enough to say what actually happened. Leo's hackles flare. Jesus. Jesus. See? That's what this is about. You only want another chance at him. Leo's looking at Flynn with pure disgust on his face. Sounds like you think I just want to fuck him. I wouldn't put it past you, slut. Flynn leans back with a smirk. Then I'm not the only one with ulterior motives, eh? Flynn's eyes flick to me. Leo doesn't even say anything in response, instead just letting out a rough snarl. Flynn only flinches a little but doesn't move, just folds his arms, staring hard at the wolf. I don't want to see you talking to him again this week. If you do, I'll shove your fat tail so far up your ass. Buy me a drink for... Chase, get out to the car. I jump as Leo snaps his head in my direction. I'm torn about this. I don't feel like Flynn did anything wrong in trying to talk to TJ. But if what Leo suspects is true, I think I need to... All right, cool. Leo punches a door frame on its way out, swinging the door shut with a smash. Flynn retains his position against the back of the couch, his arms folded, coolly chewing on his toothpick. We both listen to the sound of Leo's truck starting up before it fades as they pull out. I look over to the leftover cake on the table, wondering if I should just clean it up to give myself something to do. The glob of cream stuck to the side of the plastic dome gives me a jolt of genuine sadness as the mess this whole get-together has turned into. Flynn, meanwhile, retains his slouch sulking. Finally, the pressure is too much and I feel the need to say something. So, as if that's the cue, Flynn turns on his heels and stalks out the door. Hey! I scramble to follow him out the door, feeling more annoyed than sorry for him at this point. Where are you going? Flynn doesn't say anything as he walks up to the truck and yanks open the driver's seat. He slams it shut as I just walk up to the door. What the fuck? He finally does turn to me, then shifting the toothpick around his mouth before he speaks. What? What do you mean, what? You can't just take off. Why not? Flynn arches his prominent brow at me, and I struggle to think of what to say. It's not like he owed me anything. I didn't stick up for him at all back there. Was he expecting me to? As far as I knew, I just needed to get my project done. I just thought you could give me a ride. Flynn smirks at me. Where? The mine. You serious? I mean, it's a few miles away. You know it's sealed up and everything, right? Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean I can't get a few shots of it outside. Flynn sighs heavily, and that annoys me more than anything else. Whatever, man. I turn around and start heading up the road, not even sure if it's the fastest way up to the mine. For the next 10 seconds, I walk briskly up the road, but Flynn's car doesn't start up. I already know that he's going to relent before he says it. Fucking hell, hey! I turn around, trying not to smile. What? You know what? Get in. I try not to look eager as I make my way over to the passenger side and hop in. Think you're smart, don't you? I roll my eyes. I don't think anything. You're the one shooting yourself in the foot all the time. Whatever, man. I stare through the bars of rebar and to the darkness of the old mine. There's a damn cold breeze coming from inside, but all I can smell is dirt. Yep, beautiful, ain't it? Might as well just slap that mine jail on our flag. Represents the town pretty good. Flynn leans against the truck, chewing on another one of his toothpicks. There's an unsettling feeling about the whole place, and I'm kind of glad Flynn is with me because of it. It's a good 3 miles from the town center, and the gravel road is deserted. Our only company is a few crumbled ruins and foundations scattered every 20 feet or so. The only sign of modernity is an oddly placed long patch of asphalt and 2 lampposts at the end of it. The town has tried to turn the area into a tourist destination a decade ago, but the recession put a hard stop to that. That seems to be the running theme in this town. Its history, progress halted by outside forces. Don't you have some say in that? I mumbled absent-mindedly, messing with the settings on the camera. No, I'm the clerk. I just mess with records and shit. It's still hard for me to imagine Flynn working at that position. Shouldn't you be there now? It's still before 5. Maybe, but why bother? What? He looks up at me, toothpick bobbing around in his mouth, eyes wide as he shrugs. What? You think anyone's gonna notice? I get paid to do nothing. But wouldn't you get fired? It's an elected position. Well, unelected then? It goes unchallenged every year, Chase. I frown. Doesn't Flynn have any sense of duty? Flynn takes the toothpick out of his mouth and stabs it in my direction. Hey, I didn't bring you here just to get lectured about how to do my job. I've been doing it for the past 3 years. Flynn shoves the toothpick back in his mouth. Anyway, I was kidding. I'm part-time. I get my shit done, then I leave. Huh. I set the camera on the tripod and look through the lens. Don't me. There's a good amount of satisfaction I get out of teasing Flynn. I mean, your cousin or whatever is the mayor, right? My aunt is, and so what? Isn't that nepotism or something? Flynn sighs heavily behind me. Elected. All right, just seems kind of, I don't know, like not a good thing. As I film, I can hear him really starting to grumble behind me, so I try to change the subject. Well, it's good to see you're still not smoking anymore. The toothpick's helping? Not right now, they're not. Flynn had smoked since he was a freshman in high school. I distinctively remember him offering me cigarettes when I was like 14. He always gets pissed off if I remind him about that. I pick up the camera and move to a different angle. Well, maybe you could give Leo a few pointers. He doesn't say anything, and I close my eyes when I remember that what just happened with the wolf. I film for another minute, then turn around to face him. I'm sorry about what happened. Flynn doesn't look at me, instead choosing to stare out into the desert. Why? You didn't do anything. But I could have. And this project is why we're here in the first place, isn't it? Flynn sighs and finally looks up at me, his eyes all the more piercing under the bright sunlight. You know, one thing I can't stand is people apologizing over nothing. I frown. What does that mean? Yeah, you can apologize, but in the end, all it's doing is making you feel better while fixing nothing. I glare at him, feeling my face get hot, even more than in the desert heat. He shrugs and leans against the car, head tilted back and eyes shut against the sun. I stalk over to stand in front of him, and I can see a smile playing at the edge of his muzzle. Man, fuck you. On the last word, I jab a finger into his stomach. His eyes fly open and grunts loudly, doubling over. Jeez, Chase! I fucking stayed in this shithole for you while everyone else is having fun, and this is the thanks I get? Oh, so you stayed behind just for me? Wait. Oh, so you stayed behind just for me? Flynn stays curled up, rubbing his stomach. His face is inches from mine, and he's still got that stupid grin on his face. You're an asshole. Aw, Chase, my heart. He clutches his chest dramatically. More like your stomach. I poke at it again, but he reacts too quickly, his lithe torso bending out of the way. You can't keep your hands off me, can you? I just fold my arms, glaring, as I hover hand over the cover dog. Flynn finally straightens up, looking around. Well, I'm not going to do a repeat of yesterday. I've got a house, you know. Is he talking about how we fooled around yesterday and that he's inviting me back to his house? Or more specifically, his bedroom? I swallow. I don't want to look too eager. Like that's the only reason I stay behind. You know, I'm a little hungry. You want to go out and get something first? Flynn snorts as he gazes down at me. What? From the diner? You know how that fucks me up. I think. You said you'd cook for me a few days back. Flynn sighs, rubbing a hand behind his head. What is this? Some kind of date? Well, you said you preferred dinner first before. I trail off as Flynn raises a brow at me. I said a drink. We can have that too. Flynn looks off into the desert again, thinking. Fine, but I'm gonna get you back for that poke. I smirk. Yeah? As he turns away from me, his tail comes in and knocks me against my crotch. It wasn't all that hard, but it was enough to make me feel it at the bottom of my stomach. Oh, fuck, come on! I walk bow-legged for a few seconds as I move to gather my equipment. I don't think that was an equal exchange. That's because you ain't a lizard. Now hurry your ass up. Flynn's house is a ranch-style adobe home. He moved here only a few years ago, so it's my first time seeing it. It's an alright place. Housemate's quiet and keeps to himself, so it's almost like I have it to myself. You got a housemate? Well, yeah, don't need the whole house. Saves a decent amount of money, too. We pull in next to a kind of foreign-looking faded yellow scooter. He's new to Echo. You'll probably like him. He's a big fucking nerd. I hop out, the pavement warm against my pads even though the sun is setting. It looks nice. Kind of like a smaller version of Carl's house. Carl's mansion, you mean? On the way up to the door, I feel a thick tail bump against my own, though it's soft enough that I'm not sure if it's on purpose. As we go inside, I'm hit with a blast of warm air that's not much different than what's outside. I air out my shirt. Flynn notices and chuckles. Sorry, but you better get used to it if you want to hang around with a gilla. As I follow Flynn into the kitchen, the smell is a bit strange as well. Kind of like sagebrush, which isn't a bad thing at all. How do I... let me see Daxon first before I give an accent. That you, Flynn? Yeah, I have a friend over. Ooh, one of your reunion friends? Flynn opens the fridge. We have any green peppers left? I hear a sliding door from the hallway and turn around to a somewhat startling sight. Ooh. Okay. A tall lizard comes in, but it's not the height that surprises me, but his coloring. Spots of blue with pale eyes. I then realize he's a salamander, not a reptile. I suppose I've seen brightly colored amphibians in Pueblo, but definitely not Echo, and not even in Peyton. He has a smile on his face, and I try not hard to stare. Dax, this is Chase. Hello, Chase. Hi? I reach out to his offered hand before feeling the cool, almost slippery sensation of his skin. Yeah, sorry. I know you guys aren't used to salamanders around here. I cringe inwardly as I realize he'd caught me staring like a dumbass. Oh, no, I don't mind. Minds? Me being a salamander? I'm mortified, but he's still smiling. All right, Chase, enough making a fool out of yourself. Flynn is tossing ingredients onto the counter. Peppers, cheese, eggs. He can't help it. He's not used to it. Well, he's already bragging about going to college. Sometimes it serves you better if you just get out more. I'm not sure what to say at this point, but Dax saves me from having to try. Oh, please. Daxon's sitting next to me on the stool, that warm smile still plastered on his face. Yeah, Flynn here was trying to sweet talk a hyena a few months back. I see Flynn tense up before he turns around, pointing a knife threateningly at the salamander. Don't you dare. Refer to him as a canine? Like, isn't that something basic you learn in school? Wow, Flynn, really? Yo, Dax just became sassy gay, and I love it. Flynn turns back with a huff. Sometimes you forget shit. He's trying to play it off, but I can see the frills on the back of his head flaring. He didn't care anyway. We fucked, so fuck off. Daxon rolls his eyes before getting up and airing out his shirt like he did earlier. Well, I'm going back to my side of the house. It's a friggin' sauna over here. He pats me on the shoulder as he passes. Nice meeting you, Chase. I watch as he heads back down the hallway, sliding shut the door. It's colder on that side of the it's colder on that side of the house? Yeah, dual habitat residence. I look longingly over at Dak's side of the house. Get your ass over here so I can teach you how to cook something. The next hour is surprisingly fun, even though half of it's spent with Flynn yelling at me about how wrong I'm doing stuff. He calls it chiles rellenos. Rellenos. Peppers filled with cheese and meat and covered in eggs before being fried. That sounds really good, honestly. I kind of want to look that up. Later. I'll look it up later. I have to agree with Flynn that it's way better than diner food, even though the food over there is still pretty good. When we finish, Flynn dumps the dishes in the sink with a clatter before snatching me up by the arm. Hey! Shut up, Chase. I frown, but allow myself to be dragged down the hallway to what I presume is the lizard's room. Oh, I'm getting ready. It's small and simple, but what I'm more focused on is the fairly large bed. He pulls me in to make room to shut the door before pressing me back against it, kissing me full on in the mouth. I open my mouth the moment his tongue prods my lips. Ah, this is the time. Not used to this. Okay. Well, his room's kind of cute. It's small. There's a curtain over there and a bed, and it looks kind of cute. And like, I can see the curtains. Hey, you already seen me naked. I reach forward, undoing his belt quickly with quick, jerky movements. And then like they're just hanging out and chilling. They're taking off their clothes because it's hot in this house. So like that's what's completely happening over here. Nothing else. Nothing more. They did a little gamer kiss. It's fine. It's the most fine. And like we don't need to see the text. What's that face? It's like you never seen it. And then we keep going as we play Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the TV that he has. We're just a bunch of gamers doing gamer things, and like it's great. It's a lot great seeing like the new Super Smash Bros. Brawl for some reason in this game. It's very interesting because like I don't know what year this is set in, but like I don't think Brawl is for this. Like it's something. It's something. Oh my god, they're about to go outside because they're coming outside soon. Oh my god, let's see. It's a wonderful day outside. Birds are singing. The trees are glowing, and it looks like it's a wonderful day to go outside and have a barbecue. Because I'm definitely not reading all of this in my head and just like, oh my god, this is so horny than I thought it would be, and like. Then like I'm waiting for them to finish. Like it's so much. Yeah, how long is this? Oh, it's my turn now. I lay on okay. I think we're good. I lay on my side, head on Flint's chest while his arms wrapped around me, his hand stroking my shoulder. I rub his smooth stomach in big, wide circles, making sure to get every inch of it. I occasionally trace the outline of his chest as it rises and falls before dipping low, almost touching something. He doesn't seem to be in the mood for another go, though, so I'm content with just laying there and listen to his deep breaths. What's wrong with me? Wanting to know what happened? Oh, we're about to get deep after that? Shit. I pause in my rubbing, resting my paw in the middle of his stomach. He tenses it for a second, so I continue rubbing. Nothing, I guess. It's how you go about doing it, he grunts. Doesn't matter how I do it. He's just gonna be upset. Might be easier if you try to go at it a little more delicately. Flynn takes a deep breath, and I watch my hand rise and fall with it. He's hiding something. You know it too. I don't say anything. We lay there for like a while. Flynn's breathing softly onto my ear as his fingers creep down my arm. Everyone does, but they still treat me like I'm some sort of monster for wanting to know. I press down suddenly, and he grunts loudly into my ear as he tenses up against my hand again. You don't really think what you did at the river was appropriate? Ow! I cringe as Flynn pinches it. He doesn't say anything though, and we lay in silence for a while longer. Sydney didn't deserve that. I swallow. No. I mean, I know he was a dick, but he came from a rough place. I just listen, not wanting to say something wrong. Flynn never opened up like this. You guys don't even know him like I did. I stop rubbing and turn my head to look up at Flynn. His eyes are open, staring up at the ceiling. Jace, I need to find out what happened. Flynn. No, I'm sick of wondering. I'm sick of imagining. He looks down at me suddenly, and the expression on his face is strange.